What makes these chainsaws all suddenly become popular? The goods and the bads. Let's go ahead and let's find out. Okay, everything I see about these. The first thing, looks department does not win on these. I mean, look at these things. They are, it's a square. And they have their name, the McCinderblock, the McBrick. But these McCulloch chainsaws are becoming ever so more popular. And what is making them popular? Well, there's a lot of them. Absolutely a lot of them. They come in many different forms and shapes and sizes, it seems like. Up at the top there is a Timber Bear, or a PM605 renamed. That's at 55 cc's, and I have cut quite a bit of wood with that. I got that for free. Put fuel lines on it, and had to put an oil line on it, more on that. And this saw just absolutely runs. I have cut hedgewood with it. I have done about everything, and this saw is just absolutely amazing at 55 cc's. And it has a 20-inch bar on it. All of them do here. Now, the more common that you're going to see and find in everything is the 610. 60 cc. This saw right here is probably the most common one you're going to find of the bunch. And the earlier styles like this one, and the 650 over here, which we'll get to, have this full wrap of a chain brake. And looks good, I guess. It's heavy. And a problem with it is, if you want to take the side cover off, you also have to undo a third bolt at the top to take that off. But I did this one in a revival for a buddy, brought it back to life. He still got to come get it. But another one of those excellent saws is going to just fire right up and run for you. Quiet, ergonomic. These were found in hardware stores in boxes. All right, from my understanding, McCulloch dealers did not actually sell these. There might have been a few of them, but these are a Black & Decker designed saw right here. And the very popular one, the 650. Now this one right here, what stands this out? This is also 60 cc, but what stands it out a little bit is it has a decompression button. Because factory, these had over 200 psi of compression to them. And these come with plastic paws on the starters, and it is highly recommended to push that button before trying to attempt to start one of these ones right here. Like I said, 60 cc domed piston for higher compression, more power. And we're going to bust out the book here on it. You know what? There's always the question, what's this? What are the specs of these things? So, right here, the first page of a manual I got from Australia will specify and say exactly that. The 600 series. All the stuff about them. You've got 60 cc, 3.7 cubes, the bore, chrome plated. Now, the chrome on these, I am very surprised how well they survive inside of these. Other saws like the 800 series, the chrome on them were very thin and iffy because the Black & Decker went cheap. There's guys that still use these chainsaws to this day to cut firewood. And I mean, you know how firewood saws are always up to a demand. So you got your main connecting rod bearings. Now, piston rings. Here's one of the differences. People always, it's always, what's the difference? The 610 has a cast iron piston rings. The 650 is tool steel. All right? So it's a little bit thinner, not by much, but a little thinner from my understanding, and allows it to spin a little faster. So, third port piston timed. And yeah, this is a piston port saw. No reed valves on this one either. Kind of like the 10 series right there. I mean, it's just... So, fuel tank, small. It has a small fuel tank. That's the downside to this also. But you got more brakes. They're quite a fuel-efficient saw, really. It can go a little while off of fuel on them. Manual and auto oiler. Auto oiler, these tend to, because it's a diaphragm style, the diaphragm material hardens up on them, and it's located underneath the air box here. Easy oiler adjustment too. Right here. This is your oiler, and you push that screw in for less oil, up for more. And then you got your manual right here. Carburetor adjustments are also on the side. Idle, high, and low screws. And you got your clutch engagement speeds, your idle speed, actually quite low, nice idle speed. Ignition, electronic ignition on all of these. And these coils do swap over to the 10 series ones that are also electronic ignition. These just have a longer wire, and vice versa. You just say if you want to put one of them on there, you got to get a longer wire. Copper core. Spark plug. Your weight, 15 pounds. That's actually not too bad for one of these saws. That's quite decent for its size. Links, 16 to 20 inch bars. Now, you know, some people will say 28 inch, 24, and that'll be fine. If you run a 28 on it, I would recommend at least on the 60 and a skip tooth. That's just me. I run 20 because it's just a firewood saw, and it's just done everything at 20 inches for me and stuff. You know, laminated sprocket nose, and these are right there. Those are the original bars that come with these, original style looking ones. They've had replacement chains put on them since then, so. And of course all the other things, a chain type, floating rim, drive. I've had a couple of them that actually come with sprocket rims. They weren't the floating rims. And the carburetor, 2-needle external diaphragm, internal governor. Look, yes, these things spin absolutely good. We're talking, that's about the 10 series. These things free revving 11.5. And I mean, they do it very smoothly because these are an anti-vibration chainsaw. So that is another nice thing about these is you operate them and they just handle beautifully. You know, it's just, and there's more other things, you know, the specs on them and whatnot. If anybody needs it, I'll put it here for you. Just push the pause. So, and there's more specs on them and everything like that. How to work on them and stuff like that. And this book I got from Australia, if I didn't mention that already. So, how to do things. Getting access to the muffler is not difficult. Take off the bottom plate, pull the bolts, and you can see the piston and check scoring. Also, one difference I've been seeing between the 610 and the 650 is porting. The porting on the 650 is a little bit better, at least on the exhaust side that I've seen. And you port these saw engines as a total, you've got another animal at you that is just absolutely amazing. Now, there's goods and there's bads to these right here, alright? First off, get into your fuel cap. Your hand. Like, if this thing's tightened down or whatever, you can't get a full hand around this, alright? If you got gloves on, thicker gloves or whatever, you know, you can't get a full hand around it. So, you're kind of like that, and then you can get it. I've had sometimes where they're stuck, so. Fuel cap location, you can't get a full hand around it. Okay, minor. Bar oil, getting to the oiler. Okay, well, let's put the brake on. That doesn't do much good either. Oiler cap location, no. Absolutely horrible. And later on in the flag style up here, you can see that there's some side access now, but they kept the oiler cap up on top, and it doesn't make it any easier to put oil into these. So, another design thing. No. But the flag style is a really nice thing there, though it made it a little bit lighter and not as bulky looking, I guess, of a saw to use and operate. So. And you'll notice how it's got a couple plastic components. The backside here, plastic. Earlier styles here, all metal body. So, had its weight to it. That's probably about the 15-pound style there. I don't know. It either or. I've never really weighed them. So, bucking spikes. Now this saw came with dual set on. I don't know. They come with a crude set, but this saw right here, like I say, it's the bucking spikes on are pretty aggressive from the factory. So they're good. Now, other bads, good. Okay, we'll stick with the goods for the moment. Now, why popularity is increasing on these, from what I see, there are people taking these out of sheds after sitting 10, 20 years of their grandfathers or whatever, their parents or something, just been sitting, putting fuel in it. Fires right up, third pull. You know, that is awesome. You know, that's reliability right there. But some cases are not always that and everything, and when people come asking about carburetor diaphragms, there were two style carbs that come with these. There was a Zama and a Walbro style that come with it. And here is a Zama example, all right? Fuel comes in up on, that's the impulse, I think. No. Yeah, fuel's there. Comes in there. The Zama carb isn't as desired as the Walbro. I think this one has a Walbro. I don't know. It runs really good, so I haven't changed it out. There was no reason to change this one out whatsoever. Yeah, this is a Walbro. And the fuel inlet's on the side. See, it says Walbro right there. So the Walbro carburetors are said to be better than the Zamas. So if I ever had the chance, if it's not running, I swap it out for a Walbro if I have one. Because I just prefer the name better than Zama. So there were a couple suppliers on those. Oil lines. Now, the Timber Bear up there, when I got it, I had to put new fuel lines on it, put the oil line, as I said. To get to the oil tank, however, the inside of it, you have to disassemble the saw pretty much down to almost nothing to get to 4 screws that hold that oil tank on, and they are behind 2 back here and 2 on the other side to be able to pull them out this direction to pop the oil tank off, to change out the line. Now, probably a guy could get in there with, you know, hemostats or something and find a new line on, but I didn't do it that way or anything. I just kind of, you know, put it on there. So, had to take it off, took the saw apart anyways, cleaned her out real good, and that Timber Bear up there has just been absolutely reliable through and through. It's just, it's awesome. Now, starter dogs on these. They are plastic. Alright? So, in one video I showed why you should pull this rope out. This is a great example to do that. You don't want to break those dogs. I've seen there's metal ones of these, and then there's also plastic of the starter on the recoil. I've seen where the plastic ones have broken on the recoil and the dogs survived. Pull this out for that little bit of give when the engine rotates backwards. I'll probably, if I remember, put a link down in the bottom for you to watch that video. Now, oilers, they do have their kind of the downside on them, and it's becoming something I'm seeing more and more of. The diaphragm style, the diaphragm hardens up, and the automatic oiler does not work or works very poorly. So you have to make a new diaphragm, find a new diaphragm for that. But you've got the manual override that helps a ton, so you're still able to oil. See, it's very, very blocky of a saw, just blocky. On and off switch, right here, not exactly in the most, you know, it's not the most user-friendly where, you know, today's saws, you'll see it right where it's a quick ease of access. On-off switch, your manual oiler, your choke, over here, pull out, back in, and it's just, it doesn't actually close on the butterfly itself. There's no butterfly on here. It's a blade that covers over it. User presence handle, so you can't without. Anti-vibration system here, and it wraps around, so you're isolated. Back here, it doesn't attach, at least that I know of, or whatever. It just kind of, yeah, see, just kind of sits there. Foothold for when starting. Say, gas, your start, and this is a straight up start one. Kind of encourages the use of starting it when it's on the ground, not on, you know, a surface that's chest level and everything. So it kind of, you know, helps with that. And then, like I say, your bar nuts, and to take the cover off completely, because this is attached, you have to take that third one off. The flag style, you do not need to do that. So, like I say, this one sports a 20-inch bar. Got it like this. All I've done is sharpen the chain and just been running her. And it has been absolutely awesome on it. It's still got a spark arrestor in the muffler, and this one's just beautiful, quiet, you know. I like loud saws, but when you're out all day, you kind of want some peace, you know. You don't want to always be having, you know, going in your ears and everything, so. And one thing I've seen also with these recoils when they don't work right, because of how the design is, the cord can actually go down and get around into the starter setup, and you think you locked up the saw. Pull this off, and you can see that happen if this rope goes in faster, or this doesn't recoil properly, and the rope goes down, and it just outwind itself and gets stuck on the engine. I've seen that. I actually had that happen to me on the timber bear once, so I had to redo its recoil. I mean, other than that, though, I mean, these saws are just, I want to say pretty bulletproof. Common, and I definitely would not overpay for something like one of these. You know, we're talking, you know, $50, $75 for that, 610, dang good reliable saws. This one right here, 100, 125. You know, like, you know, a little more performance on it, assuming, you know, everything's good with it. It's still got good compression and everything. So, it's one of those, it definitely is worth having. If it's a good runner, you're looking for a good, reliable firewood saw, these right here are right there in that category. Absolutely. Good farm one, too. If you're a farmer or whatever, good farm firewood saws right here. So, yeah, it's, like I say, these saws right here, they built their reputation. And it is a Black & Decker, but it's still McCulloch, at least, you know, one of the last good of them, despite whoever designed it that day. I don't know. So, this is just my quick little, you know, review on these saws. Why are they becoming popular? The lookout for them. Like I say, chrome bore, you know, if something doesn't feel right, pop that muffler off and take a look at that piston and that bore. So, I definitely would not pay to get it re-chromed or anything. That's kind of an expensive process and everything. So, but overall, reliable. All these run, all these fire up, and are ready to go right now to cut wood if need be. So, and that one up there was dug out of a trash by Buddy, and then it sat in his basement for 8 years. I got it, fuel lines, fired right up. I was just tickled, and I've done a carb rebuild on it since too. So, just like I say, you know, want to do a video? Why are these popular? People have questions about them. You know, hopefully I answered a few of them and everything, took out any doubts, uncertainties. You get a chance for one of these for the right price, get it. Let's say thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing. We're going to have more chainsaw reviews, more building of saws, custom, stock, you know, when it comes in on the table and everything. And if everything goes right, we're going to have some decent, nice hot rod ones coming up here. And like I say, thanks for watching.